Good morning. I'm just going to talk through with you finding 50% and 25% of a number a little bit more. So here I want to find 50% of 6. So 6 is my whole amount, and you can see that I've got 6 blue circles. Okay, so my blue circles are what would normally be counters if we were in school. So I want to find 50% of my 6 counters, and my 6 counters are my whole amount. So I'm going to put my 6 counters into my bar model like this. And you can see here I've got a scale along the bottom. So here would be 0%, and all the way to here is 100%. My 100% is my whole amount. So 100% of 6 is 6. But I only want 50%, and you can see that my 50% is just here. It's halfway. So I've divided my bar model into 2 parts. This bit is 50% and this bit is 50%. Now, if I pull my counters down, you can see that I've got 3 counters in this section and 3 counters in this section. I've halved the amount of counters that I have to find 50%. So 50% is this bit here, and 50% of 6 has given me 3, because half of 6 is 3. So half the whole amount, which was 6, is 3. So 50% of 6 is 3, and I can write that here. 50% of 6 is equal to 3. Let's have a look at another one. So here I have 50% of 8. So again, my 8 is my whole amount. So 100% is 8. That's my whole amount, and I want to find 50%. So pause the video here and have a go. See if you can use the bar model to help you. Okay, so you should have paused the video. Now let's take my 8 counters, let's take my 8 counters and put it in my bar model. So along the top here, that's 100%. My whole amount is 8. Now, if I only want 50%, I only want one of these sections. So 50% of 8 will give me 4. Half of 8 is 4. 50% of 8 is equal to 4. Now, my counters aren't worth 1 anymore. Let's have a look at what my counters are worth. My counters are worth 10. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. So I've got 60 this time. So 50% of 60. So again, my whole amount is 60. It's 6 tens, it's 60. But if I want to find 50%, I'm now looking at what's in one of these parts of my bar model, because as you can see, I've split my bar model into 2 equal sections. So 50% of 60 is giving me 3 tens, and 3 tens are 30. So I know that 50% of 60 is 3 tens, which is 30. That's going to be the first activity that you have. Your next activity is going to be finding 25%. I'm going to find 25% of 8. Now let's have a look at what I've done to my bar model just down here. So my bar model along the top, that represents 100%. That's the whole amount. This time you can see I've split my bar model into 4 equal sections. Now, I know you know that 25% is equivalent to 1/4. And if we've got 1/4 of something, we have got our whole amount that's been split into 4 equal sections. So I've split my bar model into 4 equal sections, and you can see along the bottom here, along my scale, that my 25 sits right in between 20 and 30. And 25 is half of 50, and 50 is half of 100. So my bar model is split into 4 equal sections. So my 8 is my whole amount. 25% would be this bit here. And that gives me 2. So 25% of 8 is 2. I have split my 8 into 4 equal sections to find 25%. So when I am when I'm finding 50% of a number, I split my number into 2 equal sections. When I am finding 25% of a number, I'm splitting it into 4 equal sections. Now let's have a little think. If you noticed, 50% of 8 was 4. 25% of 8 is 2. Could you pause the video and have a little think about the relationship that you see here? Okay, so you should have paused the video. Now we know that half of 8 is 4 because that's 50%. And you can see here that 25% of 8 is 2. 2 is half of 4. So I can halve my number and halve it again to find 25%. Okay, and we can use the bar model to show us that as well. So with my counters, if I halve my amount, I have 4, and that's 50%. If I halve that again, I get 2, and that's 25%. So to find 25% of a number, I can halve it and halve it again. So your sheet is going to look a little bit like this, okay? And I've written at the top for you that 50% is half of 100%, just to remind you. So when you're finding 50%, you need to find half of the whole. And I've got this bar model here to help you as you go along to remind you. You're going to find 50% of the amounts at the bottom here, okay? And then when you've done that, you're going to find 25% of the amounts. Now remember, 25% is 1/4. So when I find 1/4 of a whole, I split my whole into 4 equal parts. I'm dividing it by 4. And when I divide by 4, I can divide it by 2 and divide it by 2 again. So I can halve it and halve it again. Then I'm going to ask you to explain what the relationship is between finding 50% and finding 25% of a number is. Okay, good luck. I'll look forward to seeing your work on Dojo.